King Charles is less than 2 weeks into his reign, but new claims out today suggest he could have come close to not becoming king at all. A new royal biography by Angela Levin sensationally suggests that Prince Andrew tried to push Charles aside and hatched a plan with his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson and Princess Diana to change the line of succession. Now, according to the book, Andrew's alleged plan was to line William up for the throne, usurping his older brother Charles, and make himself regent. This is if the Queen had died before William was 18. Now, the author also claims that Andrew lobbied the Queen against Charles marrying Camilla, allegedly sniping that the new, now Queen consort was not trustworthy or aristocratic enough. I don't know whether... I'm sort of wondering whether this actually all started with once upon a time. Mike, now you talked to Angela Levin about this story earlier today.
I did. Well, you know, I think the thing about these kinds of stories is the first question you ask is, well, could this have happened? Is it actually plausibly true? And I think it is, because if you think back to when the Charles and Princess Diana era was, there was an awful lot of ill feeling for Prince Charles, because a lot of people who sided with Princess Diana thought that he treated her terribly badly, that she was the wronged woman, that, you know, she'd given this interview to Panorama and talks about 3 people in the marriage and all of that. And so, you know, Andrew is clearly quite a delusional character, as we've now found out, and he obviously thinks differently to everybody else, you know, like he thought that the Newsnight interview went rather well, and he was quite happy with that. And he still has been trying to get back into the limelight, despite the fact that, you know, he's been linked with a known paedophile and was friends with him and went and stayed in his house and all of that. So I wouldn't be at all surprised. And in fact, if Diana was really upset with Charles, which she was for a while, she might have gone to Fergie, who was a very good friend at the time, and said, you know, why don't we just stick it to Charles and you come up with a plan?
But
something like that.
You see, I think you might have, there might be an element there, but it feels to me like it's 3 people, a bottle of rosé, cheese and pineapples on a silver foil covered melon. Oh no, lovely, exactly. And nowadays they do a WhatsApp group and discuss it, and then they'd move on. That's what it feels like to me. What do you think?
I just think it's a load of old
horse
manure. Yes. And I mean, come on, it's like fairy stories. It's ridiculous.
But anything's
Totally
possible with
ridiculous.
these people, isn't it, though?
Yes, but it's like, come on.
I can believe it. I agree with you, Mark. I can believe it, but I would just add to that I'm always a bit suspicious of biographies, because you can kind of almost write what you like. I mean, obviously there's some legal challenges about libel and the like, but if your target is somebody big enough, then you know full well they're never going to come back and try and sue you or even try and correct.
Well, I mean, he hasn't got much of a reputation to protect.
Well, I was going to say, so he's not in a
And he can't afford a lawyer.
He's hardly going to say, yes, there's reputational damage here. That's not going to happen.
Good luck with that.
I mean, look, I do accept your framing of how the public saw Charles at the time, because, you know, very much Diana was winning the PR war, and, you know, Camilla and Charles were like, you know, toxic couple. And there was a point, actually, where you thought, I don't know if I can ever see... I mean, when you saw Charles and Camilla walk through the gates to Downing Street, there was part of me thinking, God, when you think back to 1997, many people would never have thought this day would come.
No, never.
But when you then saw all the constitutional stuff around the accession council and the proclamations and the fact that there's this very quick moment, isn't there? There's like a moment in time where it's God save the king, God save the Queen, long live the king, you know, because the point of accession is just so clear. It's when one monarch literally takes their last breath, the new monarch just kicks in. So if Andrew was to do this very complicated chicanery, I don't think he's got the wit or the wherewithal to try and make the constitutional changes necessary, because these have been going through since the thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, very possibly. But it would also explain, wouldn't it, why Prince Charles, who now is the king, wants to make it impossible for Andrew to be one of those people who could take over if he becomes indisposed. Yeah, but at the moment, the Succession Act says that Andrew is one of those people that could take over.
Yeah,
if
as we know.
But
and he's trying to change the act.
it,
Well, but that would explain why he wants to change it.
Of course.
Can you imagine how
arse.
absolutely extraordinary it would be if, by some fluke, Andrew became the king?
Oh, please.
Please.
Don't. I'd have to move again.
No, I think the revolution would be beginning, I think.